Swagata. On behalf of B.PAC, I welcome all of you today for this very important launch of B.SAFE Constituency Public Space Report. A very, very special welcome to our chief guest, Shri Arvind Limbavali, Radhika ma'am, Sapna, and all of our, and our CGI guests. Very, very warm welcome. I'd like to start with a couple of slides to give a context. We go. Where's Bharat? I'll just spend a few minutes just giving you a context to this program. As you all know, B.PAC is in the forefront of Better Bengaluru. We work with all the stakeholders in the government, community, with different kinds of programs. And here you'll see some of our big programs. The flagship one is B.CLIP. You've got Civic Hub, Be Green, Be Mobile, Be Safe, etc. Today's program of B.SAFE Constituency comes under the B.SAFE umbrella. What is B.SAFE Constituency? It is a unique initiative where we felt we should bring all stakeholders, starting with community, government departments, ward committee, and all active citizen group to try and understand what are our infra gaps, how do we bridge them in the context of women's safety and women empowerment. And you'll be surprised, the scope of this, while it seems like a one line, the scope of this project is humongous, and I'll just share a few slides on it to give that context. To start with, I'd like to say a very, very big thank you to our CSR partner, CGI. CGI, let's give a round of applause. They are a global IT and business solution firm, a Canadian firm, and they have been an integral part of this entire project. Thank you all for this sponsorship. This is as part of their CSR initiative. This program, as I said, had a huge scope, and we couldn't have done without starting with our support from our MLAs. So Shri Arvind Limbavali for Mahadevapura, where we first started this program almost a year ago with our B.SAFE Ambassadors. So I'd like to give a round of applause to our MLA. Thank you so much, sir. We then, after 6 months, or almost 7 months, we took it to Malleshwaram, and we'd like to thank Dr. Ashwath Narayan, who's not here today, but has sent us a message. So thank you, sir, to both of you for this great initiative. Along with the support of the two MLAs, we had a whole lot of partners, and I especially like to call out to Safety Pin and others who facilitated this during almost an 18-month initiative. We chose 2 constituencies. We wanted 2 assembly constituencies in 2 different zones. And the objective was not to compare data from 2 constituencies, but to get an idea of what range of gaps exist. And we chose Mahadevapura because it was a rapidly growing, huge office complexes, working women, both formal, informal, residential, commercial complex, and infra being built. So we felt that would give us what could we do and as we grow rapidly. And the second constituency, assembly constituency, was Malleshwaram, where of course it's a well-established within the city, and what does that look like? And as you see here, we had 8 municipal wards in Mahadevapura and 7 in Malleshwaram. This whole program, as I said, both wide in scope, but also hyper-local. We wanted ward-wise analysis, ward-wise solutions is what we are looking for, and that is important to this B.SAFE constituency. Now, the program had 4 pillars, and I'll very quickly walk you through the 4. The first of which is getting volunteers. And to me, that was the lifeline of our program. which is the B.SAFE Ambassadors. Let's give a round of applause to all our B.SAFE Ambassadors from the 2 constituencies. We had a target of 25 each. Today, between the 2, we have 45 instead of 50 because a few ambassadors, due to COVID and other personal family reasons, had to drop out. But truly, this was a group that we selected through a well-defined process. And most important, they are deeply committed to solutions within their wards, within their assembly constituencies. They went through 8-session, a very in-depth session of capacity building around what are concepts of safety and empowerment for women, what are legal resources, what are legal recourses, how do you work with police, what are the schemes that are available for empowerment, both rolled out by the local government, Karnataka government, as well as center. So we went through this very intensive training program before they went out to the field. So to us, I would say the B.SAFE Ambassadors are lifeline of this program. Thank you all for being here today. The second pillar was really the public space audit. Now this was very critical because we didn't want to just pull out data from our hat. We really needed to go in depth, and we chose 9 public spaces which are commonly used by working women or women, both formal, informal workers and women in their daily lives. And as you can see, it goes from street lights to Anganwadis, bus stops, first mile, last mile connectivity, marketplace, parks, primary health centers, police station, and public toilets. So these, we mapped out every single point in these 2 assembly constituencies. And as you will see in Mahadevapura, the numbers, and in Malleshwaram, the numbers. So totally, we had 260 public spaces that were audited, excluding street lights, which add up to another 108. So the rich data that we got from this. And who did it? Our B.SAFE and B.SAFE ambassadors. They were broken up into teams of 3. We gave them the latitude and longitude points of each of these locations. They went to, and they had a Google Sheet research data form, and that's how the data that we have today is in the report as findings, and I will still emphasize, it's not about comparing constituencies, it's about finding individual assembly constituency, individual ward solutions. So that's what's going to be released today as the report, and we thank our 2 MLAs greatly for this. Thank you. The third pillar of this B.SAFE constituency is, one is to get the findings. The second and most important was, how do you get the community engaged? And this to us was one of the crucial pillars as well, besides the audit findings, is how do you reach out to community? And each assembly constituency had a target number of 1,000 community outreach, all the local colleges, as well as reaching out to 100 auto drivers and cab within that locality. And the objective of this was to talk to them about safety of women, safety of the empowerment of women, so that they begin to understand what is involved. And I must say, during the COVID time, we had, during the pandemic, the Mahadevapura ambassadors had a tough time, but they did a marvelous job, sir, and they really completed the list of target numbers we had. And we hope to get this community engaged, and them in turn get more people to engage in our ward-wise solution. Currently, as I'm speaking, we are doing this community outreach program in Malleshwaram, because we started that program, as you know, 6-7 months later, after Mahadevapura. And the final and the last pillar is the most important. Findings are only as good as implementation and action plan. Otherwise it remains in the book, it remains as nice to talk about. So this is where we as B.PAC, B.SAFE Ambassadors, elected representatives, department stakeholders, ward committee, and the community at large. We know exactly what solutions we need by wards, so we now need to go out there, do more advocacy, and importantly, have a time-based action plan. And to me, these were the 4 pillars that I really wanted to share. So with that, in a nutshell, all of you know what B.SAFE Constituency is, why we are here, and thank you, sir, once again, to both the MLAs for their support from the start. We have a lot of findings from the pilot and a lot of learnings from the project. What we do want to do is ideally take this forward more digitally, more technology-enabled across to one other assembly constituency in each of the other 6 zones in Bangalore. That would be ideal so that we can build what I term as model assembly constituency, one in each of the zones, which citizens can then take it forward in many ways. So with that, let me say a big thank you, once again a warm welcome, and I'm going to then invite our chief guests on the stage. I will ask Revati ma'am, who is our CEO and managing trustee of B.PAC, to accompany our MLA from Mahadevapura, Shri Arvind Limbavali. Dr. Ashwit Narayan is not here, but I think Dr. Vasudeva has come. He's on the way? Okay. Pranita, I thought, was just entering. May we have a round of applause? Dr. Rahul Godke, Senior Vice President and Business Unit Leader of CGI, our sponsors and CSR, and of course, Ms. Shri Vidya Natraj, who is Vice President and CSR Executive Sponsor from CGI. I will now hand over to Revati to facilitate some discussions around what we intended to do through this program and how do our chief guests message to all of you. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Mike is there. Thank you. The mics. Where is Pranita?
I'll do that.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Thank you all for being present on a Saturday afternoon. It is really heartening. We are very, very proud of this program. And thank you, sir. We were there when you launched the program over a year ago. At that time, there was no COVID. It's possibly almost 1.5 years. And we didn't realize when we started this program that we would face all these issues. And we are very proud to say that in spite of all of this, all these ambassadors whom you see have been so passionate and have spent so much time to not only to learn about how to secure themselves, their families, their surroundings, they also looked at how they can meaningfully participate in community action along with the political leaders and the government and civil society, because everybody needs to come together if we want to have better environment around us. And I think with the support of companies like CGI, if many more people get involved, definitely we can make our surroundings much, much safer for our women and children. Our B.SAFE program started about 7 years ago, 8 years ago, when the Nirbhaya incident happened, and we said, we should not do something only when an incident happens. We must continuously work to keep our public spaces safe, our private spaces safe, various areas. So we've been working on many such initiatives, and we wanted to institutionalize it by having B.SAFE ambassadors across the city. And if we create number of B.SAFE ambassadors as a very strong program, then you can imagine when so many women are looking at safety, such valuable suggestions will come. Prior to this, we have done some very interesting work, training all the police, all the BMTC staff, conductors and drivers, etc. We have trained over 11,000 people. So our program continues. We don't want this to happen only when a Nirbhaya incident happens. We want to be consistently working on issues of women. We don't need to only talk to women. We need to talk to men. We need to talk to women. They must all understand that these are some serious issues which need to be addressed, and society must start dealing with it in a very systematic manner. So it has many aspects to it. When we plan our new facilities, how do we look at safety? When we look at lights, we did a survey recently on mobility on the cycle lanes. And one of the biggest issues women raised, when there was a sharp difference between men's response and women's response to the cycle lane. The men spoke about infrastructure, you need better cycling infrastructure, etc. Women said we need more lights. So, there was a very clear difference that they cannot use these roads unless they feel very safe. And providing lighting is a very, very fundamental issue of safety. So with that, I will just take the first question to you, Rahul. If you can talk a little bit about, you all reached out to us. If you can talk a little bit about what CGI saw and what was your thought and what do you see is happening today?
So I would defer this question to Srividya because she's been there from the beginning. I just came in a few months back. Sorry for that.
No problem. I think women's safety is one of those which is very important. Okay. Is it? Yeah. So when it comes to women's safety, I think it's one of the most important thing, right? In the corporate world, all of us, we do celebrate International Women's Day, Women's Week, and stuff like that. But I think working towards an inclusive world is so important. I think when things are safe, we also have our own daughters, coming out openly to any kind of work which is there, because we see very happy now, because we see a lot of Ola cab drivers. I see them coming out and taking out on the street. To make that happen, I think safety is one of those important aspects for us to come in any field for that matter. Because I do remember in Bangalore long back the incident which happened for a call center girl, right? So today we don't see that as a big issue because we know there are certain safety measures which are put in. Thanks to Government of Karnataka for really taking up those. And this particular initiative is actually personally touches me, right? Because my own daughter now, she can go out and come back even at 11 o'clock in the night. So which is very, very important for us to make sure we have a place which creates that kind of an environment. So that is something which always we need to do it. And from a CGI point of view, we are committed to sustainable world, basically. And we want to create an inclusive society. And keeping that in mind, I think this is one of the program we thought we should really come forward and also support ongoing basis.
Thank you. We have a small message from Kiran Madhukar Shaw. She could not be here in person today, but she has sent us a message.
Yes.
So
yes.
If that can be played out, please. And a warm welcome to Pranita, who has been the face of B.SAFE for, I think all of you, Pranita Subhash doesn't require any introduction. She is a famous actor and done some very, very interesting movies. And she has been a great supporter to our B.SAFE program. She has taken out so many videos and created such a fan following as an influencer. She keenly believes in safety of women, and we are very, very thankful, Pranita, for all your support always. Yeah.
B.SAFE B.SAFE is a flagship program of B.PAC, which over the years has developed into a world-class initiative which cities all over the globe must embrace. A safe city is certainly a very prosperous and happy city. But having said that, what is a safe city? This program, B.SAFE, has been the brainchild of our Chitra Talwar, who has looked at every aspect of measuring safety in cities to make it world-beating. One of the most important aspects of B.SAFE is the safety audit program, and of course the concept of having safety ambassadors in every locality. And I would really like to congratulate the B.PAC team under the mentorship of Chitra Talwar for coming up with such an outstanding program that not only Bengaluru will initiate, but which can be adopted countrywide and worldwide. I would also like to congratulate all the safety ambassadors who will be recognized today.
So that was Kiran's message. She's deeply behind this program. She called me this morning and she said, it's a pity I could not come, but please convey my deep gratitude to all the people who've been involved. It's been a very, very big program, and her special thanks to all of you. I would now invite Mr. Arvind Nivali to say a few words, sir.
How many of you know Kannada?
All of us.
Thank you. ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ I would like to thank B.PAC. I think one and a half year before, they approached Clement. Through Clement came to my office. I was really surprised and knowing the things. So women's safety as well as other safety in the city is the challenges. That too in my constituency. It is not a developed constituency like Malleshwaram. Malleshwaram is an old area. Shivajinagar is an old area. The new Bengaluru is coming in Mahadevapura, K.R.Puram, and also Bomnalli, Bengaluru South. I am saying the constituencies where electronic city exists in Bengaluru South, and ITPL, KPTO, entire Bellandur Ring Road, all software companies going on to the Sarjapura Road also. So this is Mahadevapura. And what Madam has shown the map, it is not complete map of Mahadevapura. Mahadevapura consists of 8 wards of BBMP and 6 Jilla Panchayat wards. And the population, the voters in my constituency is 5,84,000. If you compare to Shivajinagar or Chamrajpet, it is 2.5 more than Chamrajpet. And the population is more than 9 lakhs. And the floating population, now because of the COVID, people are working from the home, so we cannot find the population there, floating population, but otherwise, it is more than 15 lakh per day. The people used to come and go. So this is the major, our challenge is the traffic. And lot of development works are going on. In the situation also, we are looking safety for a woman. don't worry about Mahadevapura, nothing, since from my MLA-ship, since from 13 years, no such incidents took place in Mahadevapura constituency. Whatever the feedback I just saw, of course I do agree. Madam Srividya has thanked the state government. Off the record, I can say, government is not only my government, our government, otherwise governments are very, very, very slow. The license Raj, the getting the permission, approvals is very difficult. I, being a senior leader of the party and MLA, third time MLA, I used to chase the files. So because of our government is there, I got about more than 4,000 crores for Mahadevapura in these 2 years. So, street light is one of the issues. There is no roads. Where can I put the street lights? If you go to the interiors, even though the major roads, we have brought about 17 crores extra amount for putting a street lights. Then Nirbhaya cameras will come. Without a light, how the recording will take place if any incident happens. And other big challenge for us is lands. Government lands are encroached, and fortunately with my local leaders, in first regime I saved about 500 acres of government land to the public. This year also I am doing it. Funny thing is, where I am building a hospital, 250-bedded hospital is recently sanctioned to my constituency, and land breaking ceremony took place by the Chief Minister, Honorable Chief Minister of Karnataka recently. It was sanctioned Jagdish Shettar regime when I was a health minister. That time it was a 100-bedded hospital. The place dispute, because of the place dispute in Siddhapura, village called Siddhapura, it didn't happen. And we moved from some other place where the illegal private school was running. Clement and Sampath is aware of it. More than 6 acres of land. Recently I asked them, unfortunately he is the son of a retired IPS officer. So recently I asked him to vacate, even though he is conducting the classes there. So land is a big issue wherever. Even I am making a one road from, say for example, I am quoting an example, from Ring Road to Peripheral Road. That is a CDP road. It is 60% constructed already. Last year we started. It stopped in 40%, means it is because of the land issues. The planning is also, I being a civil engineer, so planning is also done by properly by the agencies, by the departments. Without considering the acquisition or TDR, they will plan the roads. They will grant the money for the construction only. Work will held up. Though such issues are there, I need cooperation and feedback from the B.PAC. Whatever the feedback you are giving now, definitely I'll go through, and it is eye-opening for me also in some areas. I didn't concentrate for the toilets because I said land issues are there. Even though the Shubhra Bengaluru has sanctioned about 32 toilets in my constituency, toilet blocks, that is Sulabh Shauchalaya, like, and I brought one NGO to compensate that. Means the grant will be very less, comparatively what we thought of building it. So one NGO came forward to for joint venture for these projects. And in coming days, definitely numbers will be increased. And of course, we cannot compare to Malleshwaram or Shivaj Nagar because it's a small constituencies. And I said it is a developing area and lot of challenges are there. Whatever the feedback you are giving through your organization. And also I am thankful you brought CGI to sponsor some such programs. So it should be PPP model projects, some projects should be launched there. And I definitely in coming days trouble you because money is a big challenge, grant is a big challenge. For such projects, some projects there is no priority in the government. So those areas you have identified and definitely I'll say for example, I have 14 parks in my constituency and I want to do one more big park in Varthur, where the Varthur existing road, we are shifting that road little bit that side. And this stretch of Lake Bund Road, we are converting into a park. And the BBMP don't have money for those projects. So in such areas, I need your NGO's support. Also, I need feedback how the present parks, even developed parks, BBMP has not given a maintenance money. That are the big challenges are there. Definitely we'll work together. And I really thank B.PAC and getting me into this and improving our area by your feedback, also by your NGO participation. And in coming days, of course, I do have a priority for women's safety. Whatever the feedback you are giving for Mahadevapura, definitely in coming 1 year, we'll implement all those your recommendations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. What more satisfaction for the B.SAFE ambassadors than just hearing from the MLA that the work that they have done will actually be useful and they will see change in their own community, and that is how things start becoming better in every community if all stakeholders start getting involved together. I will now just request you to put on Dr. Ashwath Narayan's message. He could not be here, but he was kind enough to send us a message.
Namaskaram. As all of us know, B.PAC has been working in the interest and welfare of the Bengalurians. So probably in this direction, they have come out with a new program, B.SAFE. Through B.SAFE, they've inducted B.SAFE Ambassadors and thereby trained them how to audit the public space to ensure the various places like bus stops, parks, schools, toilets, many places, public spaces where we come across, and more so the footpaths when they walk around. To ensure those places are safe, they have got their own criteria of measuring the safetiness, which has been gone through the required process, and after going through the process, the same thing has been measured on the field. By measuring, they have indicated what are the challenges, what are the issues. Probably by doing so, they are bringing to the attention of the system, the government and the local government, and as well as the elected representative, and to the notice of the public, how we need to work together to ensure that Bengaluru and the respective constituency and the respective wards and the respective streets can be made safe for each and every citizen, and more so particularly for women. Probably by doing so, we'll ensure the Anganwadis, the bus stands, the parks, every possible footpath safe place. probably we'll extend all the cooperation. This is a fantastic initiative. We need to measure and ensure the measurement is everything. So measurement can indicate where and what needs to be done. And more so, the volunteers who have come forward as a B.SAFE ambassador is really appreciable. We have taken out their precious time for only in the interest of the society. They have come forward to keep the topmost priority is the interest of the society, and they have not come for any consideration or for any remuneration. They have not been given anything, only with one cause, to make the place where they live a better place to live. Once again, I congratulate all the volunteers who have given their time. We really recognize all of your contribution. Once again, I thank B.PAC for coming out with such a fantastic program. Namaskar, Jai Hind, Jai Kannada.
Thank you. Many thanks to Dr. Ashwath Narayan. I hope all the ambassadors from Malleshwaram constituency are also feeling equally energized, and all of you will take up, I know Dr. Ashwath Narayan is also very keen on ensuring that all the suggestions that were given will be implemented. So rest assured that all your work has not gone to waste, but use this opportunity to be continuously engaged with the MLA and his team so that we can make our constituencies safer constituencies. May I now request Pranita Subhash, who has been the face of this entire campaign and who has so generously given her time to all of us to say a few words.
Good morning, everyone. It's quite ironic because when I was reading out what was given to me while making the videos, I myself didn't know that the government has provided so many amazing initiatives for the safety of women. So I really think that B.PAC here is doing that very instrumental job in making sure that public gets to know. I think awareness is the first step because there's so many initiatives that the government has already set up. There are various police facilities, whether it's paralegal facilities, a lot of things that the government has already provided. But I think the missing link was the awareness. Say there's a lady who comes to help us out at home. She had a problem where there was some property issue in her house, which she came to my parents and said, how can they help with this? And when I was making these videos, I realized that the government has already provided this, and that's how I just put her on to that. So I think this entire program of B.SAFE has been the most important step of awareness, and obviously as an influencer, I think that it's been really an honor to be a part of such a program, because what is the other purpose of gathering all that support and resource and fans if we're not going to use it for something like this? So thank you.
Thank you, Pranita. Any program, the government, as Pranita rightly said, has so many programs. How do we reach that program to citizens at large? That is an equal issue. If you look at COVID today, the government spent a lot on communication. Every time you hear the Airtel ring, it still talks about COVID, so you cannot ignore it. Something similar to that has to be done consistently on many such issues, so that issues become center stage and citizens at large begin to understand a lot of the facilities that are being provided by the government. That communication, the budgets for communication also have to be large enough to provide for that mass education of what is available, because several programs are there, but sometimes people are not able to pick up, or the right beneficiaries who are meant to utilize these programs don't get it, or there are middle persons who get involved, and really the government is trying to provide these benefits to somebody else, and some middlemen are trying to appropriate a lot of these benefits. So I think the role of an influencer
Because of the technology, the middleman is...
Yes. So we are actively involved, sir, with the department in their, they have all the schemes which are going directly to citizens. We are there, B.PAC is working actively with the government to take all those schemes. People must know about it. So we have held multiple camps over the last 2 months. We are holding all these multiple camps so that people get to know that these facilities are available. They don't have to approach a middle person. It can be directly done. And a lot of it has been digitized. So can we use digital means? People must know and people must become aware of it. Our strength is bringing community, political leadership, corporate, and citizens at large all together on one platform so that they can all talk to each other, and that way we can have a much more harmonious, you want to do many things for the society, people must know that these things have been done, so they become much more aware of what is being provided. Thank you.
I just want to add a few things
Yes.
to the point that Honorable MLA said in terms of using technology, and to the point that Revati you just made. I think we've been doing a lot of research as far as CGI is concerned in developing technologies to enable smart cities, to enable the next generation citizen support centers. And globally we have deployed it across multiple countries. And I would be happy to deploy it in my country. It's sad that we do the research in India and we lack funding to deploy it in India. But I think as a community, if we are able to get the required arms and ammunition, then obviously the money to deploy it, I think I'm pretty honored, I'll be pretty honored to deploy it in India. Because today as CGI, we are developing chatbots to support citizen support systems for European countries. We have developed a lot of work in terms of, we've developed a lot of technology to support smart processing of various government-specific transactions for enterprises, or we say in Canada we call it as the crown companies, or the PSUs in Canada. So all the technology is developed here in India, and it will be really great for all of us to come together, and B.PAC has done a great initiative in terms of taking the first step towards safety. But I think we can look forward and figure out more and more initiatives to build on top of safety, and also to replicate the same thing, or build a framework that can be digitized. And what you've done here as a part of this phase 1, how do we actually use technology to replicate it across different constituencies in Bangalore, or it can be pushed to other cities. So that is something that we as CGI will be very happy to be associated with your team. That's all from my side. Thanks.
Thank you, Rahul. I think that was really good. We'll definitely reach out to you. Definitely we'll see how we can build on this program. I'm sure the role of technology is very important, and a citizen dashboard is a must. We already have the basics of a citizen dashboard. We will see how we can make it much more user-friendly so that more citizens get to know about it, and we are able to solve a lot of issues which don't require too much of face-to-face interaction. I know there is always support required because not everybody is familiar with technology. In India, we have multiple worlds we live in. It's not just one world. We must be acutely aware. But that is where the role of B.PAC comes, because we have so many ambassadors, B.SAFE ambassadors. We have civic leaders who have been trained. We have 350 civic leaders we have trained over the last 7 years. So they are all there on the ground to help people who may not be so familiar with technology to take this message out to them. So with that, thank you all very much. And Dr. Vasu is here on behalf of Dr. Ashwath Narayan. So if, sir, would you like to say a few words?
A very good morning to one and all. I'm really happy to be here today. I represent Dr. Ashwath Narayan. I take care of Malleshwaram constituency past few years. And regarding this B.SAFE, they had come and done a survey or pilot project in Malleshwaram and they have told us what is lacking and what has to be done. And that has been also discussed with Dr. Ashwath Narayan. And in few days to come, whatever pilot project have mentioned, the lacking of few things, so that will be addressed as early as possible. And we look forward to work towards the public or the citizen, and a lot of works are going on in Malleshwaram now, so it will take 1 or 2 months more, so that the whole Malleshwaram will be, all the works will be completed. So I see a lot of people here from Malleshwaram, and 25. Okay, so I'm really happy to see you all, and henceforth I say that I'll be very happy to interact with you and work with you all. Thank you.
I would like to thank all our chief guests for sharing their valuable insights. Now moving right along to the most awaited part of the day, that is release of both Mahadevapura and Malleshwaram public place audit reports. This report is the culmination of audits conducted by our band of B.SAFE Ambassadors. B.SAFE Ambassadors conducted audit at 260 locations and 108 streets, covering both Mahadevapura and Malleshwaram Assembly constituencies. Along with our B.SAFE Ambassadors, we request ward committee, citizens, residents, government agencies, and concerned stakeholders to leverage the report by implementing the actions to make public places safer and also enhance the perception of safety. A big round of applause to all the chief guests. Thank you. Yes. Now I would like to call on the stage Pooja Patel, my colleague, to walk us through the next segment, that is recognition and certification of all our B.SAFE ambassadors. First, we'll start with Mahadevapura ambassadors, followed by Malleshwaram. So,
yes. Thank you all the dignitaries on the stage for releasing the public place audit report. Now moving to the most important and exciting part of the day, that is to certify and recognize all our women leaders as B.SAFE ambassadors. Now our B.SAFE ambassadors have built capacity through intensive training on a series of topics through knowledge track. They have also been actively involved in collecting the grassroots level data during the safety gap audits, and have also engaged with around 2,000 community women and also 20 colleges to create awareness in both the constituencies. Now I take this opportunity to call on the stage with our first and most enthusiastic team of B.SAFE ambassadors from Mahadevapura Assembly constituency. I request Shri Arvind Limbavali ji to certificate and recognize our B.SAFE ambassadors. Bhavana V. Bharti Divakar. Deepti. Indira. Jayashri. Jayanti, Kumuda, they have not taken. Lavanya TN, Lipika Saho. Now I request Dr. Rahul Gogde to certify and recognize our B.SAFE ambassadors. Lipika Saho, Mehela Kumar, Nisarga R, Nisarga ML, Padmavati Amma, Rajashri, Shaila Parvati, Satyavani, Shashi Khurana, Seema Bhai, and Shobha Murali. These are all our Mahadevapura Assembly Constituency B.SAFE ambassadors. Thank you all. Thank you for all your efforts throughout the program. And now we are all officially our B.SAFE ambassadors from today. Thank you all. Thank you, Dr. Rahul. Now I request Dr. Vasudev to certify our most energetic and dynamic team of B.SAFE ambassadors from Malleshwaram Assembly Constituency. Akila R, Archana, Chandrika, Chetna Baliga, Chaitra Himakar, Gayatri, Gauri G. Hegde, Meghna Yes, Purnima Yan, Now I request Pranita Subhash to hand over the certificates and recognize our B.SAFE ambassadors. Yes. Meghna, yes. Okay. Pushpa G. Kumar. Priyamit Kaur. Ravali Nageswara, Rachana R, Rupa Sharma, Safia Muskan, now I request Ms. Revati Ashok to recognize and certify our B.SAFE ambassadors from Malleshwaram. Shaila Darshan, Shamita Srinath, Suma HM, Suma HM, yeah. Smita Ram Gopal, Sridevi D, Soumya Balaji, Purnima, Smita Ramgopal, Sridevi, Soumya Balaji, Saraswati, and Tanushri KB. The one, what's her name? Okay. Shafia Muskan.
You should come forward 1 minute.
Yes, Shafia Muskan. Now I would request all our Mahadevapura Assembly B.SAFE Ambassadors to come on the stage, and we'll quickly have a group picture with all of the dignitaries and chief guests on the stage today. Then we'll have Malleshwaram coming on the stage.
We'll make this quick, okay?
Yes.
Certificate is there, ma'am.
You don't, Clement, is that okay? Come on, Clement, come on. Come, Clement, please, without you.
Clement sir, yes. Definitely, there's always a huge support from Clement sir. Thank you for being there throughout the program.
Come on, quick, folks.
I would request Siri and Bharat from our team also to join the group picture.
Have you get closer? Put your right shoulders inside.
Please, here.
Put your right shoulders inside. Get closer.
Quick.
See you next time.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you all. Thank you, B.SAFE Ambassadors from Mahadevapura. And now I request our Malleshwaram B.SAFE Ambassadors on the stage for a quick group picture.
Down this way. Put your right shoulders inside. You okay, come this side. Get closer.
Kaveri madam, please come on the stage. And Mimi ma'am, it's with all of your support we have able to complete our Malleshwaram B.SAFE Constituency with our B.SAFE Ambassadors.
And I would also request, please, all the Mahadevapura energetic ambassadors to please take your seats again.
Thank you all. Followed by this, we have the quick highlights from our report being presented by Siri, and followed with a panel discussion with our eminent stakeholders from different departments present today. Over to you, Siri.
Thank you all the dignitaries on the stage for recognizing all our B.SAFE ambassadors by giving out the certificates. I would request all of you to please take the front row as I start talking about the highlights of the whole report that's been released just now. Please.
This is for
Basu.
Make it quick, please. So this is for you. It's heavy, but okay.
Bharat, Pooja, panel members. Yes, post the capacity building sessions, our ambassadors were divided into groups and conducted the safety audit. The data was collected on the B.SAFE backend webpage, an online web platform with questionnaire framed along with subject experts. The detailed analysis on the raw data was collected. The detailed analysis, the raw data was sorted under must-have and good-to-have categories. Must-have are, these are the basic or minimum requirements of public places to be safe, accessible and functional. Good to have, these are the criteria of public places that can set as a benchmark. Further, the scoring was divided into 5 color categories, red being the lowest and green being the highest. Now moving on to the details of each constituencies conducted for the safety audits. Coming to Mahadevapura Assembly constituency, 8 municipal wards were covered. Safety audit was conducted at 18 Anganwadis, 34 bus stops, 27 first mile, last mile, 14 markets, 9 PHCs, 15 parks, 6 police stations, 14 public toilets were also audited on the basis of sense of safety and accessibility. Based on the data, the detailed must-have and good-to-have actions for each public place and wards have been derived. Out of these detailed action plans, 8 key actions for Mahadevapura are recommended to improve the safety score. I would also request all of you to scan the QR code that has been put on the pillar so you will be able to access the report on your phone right away. So I'll not get into the detail of the report considering the time, but I'll just try to talk about just a couple of highlights that we found in Mahadevapura. With respect to street lights, we have audited 35 streets, out of which 50% and 70 out of 35, 50% of the audited streets and public places in Mahadevapura constituency need to be well lit. Out of 18 Anganwadi Kendra, 11 of the Anganwadi Kendra shows the potential to expand into a full daycare center, as each of the Anganwadi have 20 plus working mothers currently. With respect to bus stop, we have suggested that all the bus stop needs to be installed with passenger information system or route maps. Out of 14 markets, 7 of the markets require a separate and the clean toilets. Out of 15 audited parks, 8 of the park need to have street lights or CCTV or security guard in and around the park. Police station. 2 of the police station need to have dedicated women's desk and separate waiting area for the women. Out of audited 9 audited PHCs, 4 of the PHC need to be provided with Jan Aushadhi. Out of 14 audited public toilets, 7 of the toilets need to be open throughout the day like the others. Now I would request Pooja to give the details of Malleshwaram Assembly constituencies. Thank you.
Thank you, Siri, for quickly brushing us out about the highlights from from Mahadevapura Assembly constituency. Now I would take our the Malleshwaram Assembly Constituency Audit Report. Our energetic ambassadors from Malleshwaram Assembly Constituency have audited 7 municipal wards where they have completed 73 streets and 123 public places, which involves 5 Anganwadi, 37 bus stops, 14 first mile, last mile, 16 markets, 5 PHC, 22 parks, 6 police station, 18 public toilets were audited on the basis of sense of safety and accessibility. Based on the data driven, the detailed must have and good to have action plans for each public place on basis of ward has been derived. Bengaluru is on the global map for business, and enabling safety through improved infrastructure becomes one of the important factor to enhance its global image as well. And coming to the Malleshwaram key highlights, we have picked 8 key highlights from the Malleshwaram audit report. It's in very in detail, very specific to each public place from each ward. We have what needs to be done. Now it's in our hands of B.SAFE Ambassadors who will try and take it to implement. Highlighting on street lights, we audited around 73 street lights, which shows that 23% of the audited streets and public places need to be well lit, which includes 9 streets, 4 bus stops, 2 first mile, last mile, and 11 parks. We have all the details about which park exactly and which bus stop exactly needs the street light attention there. And coming to Anganwadi, we saw around 4 of the Anganwadi have the potential to expand into a full daycare center, as it's present in an urban sector and where most of the informal working mothers have their children bring to the Anganwadi, and 43% of the total enrolled students have working mothers there. And bus stops, 8 of the audited bus stops have dead spaces that needs to be cleared, and 9 of the bus stops need better eyes on the street to create a sense of safety. And also coming to first and last mile, we audited around 14 first mile, last mile points in Malleshwaram constituency, where walkable footpath around them is one of the basic infrastructure which make them more accessible. And coming to parks, as 10 of the parks have reported crime and chain snatching in Malleshwaram, we recommend these parks to have CCTVs and security guards, and along with street lights, which show more light on even around the parks. And coming to police station, 4 of the police stations will also require ramp for their entrance. And coming to PHC, that most of our PHC lack with Janaushadhi being provided. Also linking our PHCs with Janaushadhi will also make it more enabled. And coming to public toilets, out of 18 public toilets, 15 of them have to be no-fee toilets. There is something like all the toilets need to be free. So 18 of them need to be free, no-fee toilet. And coming to this, these are the key highlights from the Malleshwaram and Mahadevapura constituencies, which we right now brushed up. And we have a detailed report stating all of this. As Siri stated, you can all scan our QR codes and get into detail. To action these recommendations, all the key stakeholders like BBMP, BMTC, ward committees, elected representatives have to come together with the support of the citizens to implement and suggest the action plan. B.PAC, through our band of B.SAFE Ambassadors, would be happy to work with all the stakeholders to showcase Mahadevapura and Malleshwaram as a model constituency.